hot with a great episode. I'm excited for it. So, man, I gotta ask, what have you been doing, dog?
Whole lot of joshing around.
That's what I
I
hear,
was I
man.
was like, where's the question?
Oh,
Yeah, a
that's
whole
what
lot of
we.
joshing around, whole lot of state hopping.
Yeah, man, you've had a busy couple of weeks, dude. Very busy.
Yeah, I went back to Louisiana for a wedding and then drove my car up here through from Louisiana to Texas to New Mexico to Arizona to Nevada to California.
Man, man.
It's like 30 hours of driving.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. That's insane. And you read. Never mind. We'll get into it. We'll get into what you did. Anyway. Um.
Yeah, it was I spent that trip what would you say? Studying.
Yeah, researching. It's definitely a lot to go through for sure, for sure. Um, do you just want to hop straight into it? Like, are we gonna piddle around? Are we gonna go over any
Yeah,
recent news? What are we want to do?
I wanna get right into it, but I want to preface by saying, well, obviously, we're gonna be talking about V for Vendetta. We're gonna
So
be
excited.
talking about the book and how it compares to the movie. But I want to state that there's a difference between the two of us. Josh, the other Josh,
Yes.
Clearwater, started with the movie and then read the book.
Yes.
Now, me, I started with the book and then read the movie. So we've got
You've read the
differing
movie.
opinions. Did I say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Just
well,
fucking with you.
shit. I'll just leave it.
Yeah,
Just
that'll
leave
be
it.
fine. Very important to preface that for sure because I definitely think opinions would be different if either one of us swapped that take. Like again, if I would have read first and then watched, it would be different than how it was. Because I think think about the people that we've talked to that read Watchmen before watching it. You know what I'm saying? And if you look online, it's a
Yeah,
very
it's a
common
big
opinion.
difference.
Yeah.
And both Alan Moore.
Yeah. Again, we made a joke that we're gonna have to change it to the Alan Moore segment from this point forward. And read Swamp Thing, but maybe
Yeah, it
we'll see.
sounds, yeah.
I mean, I think that's what we have to do. I got into an argument with it, not really an argument, but me and a coworker. No, it was an argument. We were arguing about Zack Snyder the other day, and Watchmen got brought up, and I was like, it may be my favorite comic book movie of all time. He said, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. He goes, no, V for Vendetta. And I was like, you might have a point.
Obviously, that facial expression might have just gotten a little bit into how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
One of our first ever differences of opinion. It's like one of like three that we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the other one? Ben Affleck's Batman suit
And then
and
Tom Holland Spider Man. Tom Holland
Frank
Spider Man.
Miller's
Oh,
art.
so we got four. Because I know we disagreed heavily on the Spider-Man suits, and then Frank Miller, but I think that's it. Dead ass. I think everything else we're pretty much in
Yeah.
close to opinion on. So let's start with the book. I think because that's going to be the meat and potatoes of what we got to talk about.
And I've got it right here. And I read it in compact, which I know is a shame to some people, but I still got I still got my story's worth.
Yeah, you're balling on a budget, man. You got what you needed. I definitely think
Exactly.
if that's what you can
$10.
get access to. Again, I had to go to eBay and my shit. Like you have extra content compared to what I have, and I have an original printing, so I don't understand how the fuck that happens. But
Yeah, look, I want to show anyone who doesn't own the compactor, I mean, doesn't read it
yeah,
or hasn't read it at all. This is the opening page, by the way. I don't know. Is that the opening page on yours?
nope.
This is sick.
Yeah.
And then, so in between each volume, it has uh, it has one of these.
Yeah, see, I don't have those. I wonder if those are the covers.
And then, yeah, well, no, because I think that's in between each chapter. Because the way Alan Moore writes this one, there's multiple chapters in one volume.
Yeah.
But my favorite part is scenes like these, where they're all black, high contrast, just black and white. And I showed Clearwater off camera. This is another really good one right here.
Oh man, dude, David Lloyd, man, he's
Like
just that
wizard
fucking guy.
work.
He's just that guy.
Yeah. So, should we start off with a synopsis? kind of the story if people have never read it or watched it?
Ah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we can for sure. Yeah, yeah. You go ahead. Again, you go
So,
ahead. You read
so
it most
I
recently.
yeah, I wrote down something, but I realized while reading it, a, a lot of what makes it so entertaining to read is the element of surprise and like how you're figuring stuff out
Mm,
kind of non-linearly. Uh, and when I was writing it down, I was writing it down like linearly, like.
right.
But I'll start by saying this is a story about after a Great War, Britain went through a fascist regime, and in said fascist regime, they ethnically cleansed Britain, and they were picking up people off the street, anybody who wasn't heterosexual and white, and was subservient to their cause or whatever. They're taking them up, bringing them to concentration camps. I mean, they called them resettlement camps,
Mm,
but we all know what the fuck that is. And so I was see from there, I could go two different ways,
yeah.
you know. But our our character or the story follows our two main characters, Evie and V, which I noticed kind of like way late. EV and V, I'm like, there's a V. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's a fucking V motif throughout the book if you can't
Um,
tell already.
E is also the fifth letter in the alphabet as well. If you didn't catch that. Yeah.
And you'll see there's more.
Yeah. There's a
But
lot of
yeah,
V's. A lot of V's.
yeah. The comic opens up with a side by side of the two main characters preparing for the night. V is this mysterious guy that we know nothing about as of now, and Evie is a 16-year-old orphan child living in a hostel with prostitutes. And she's never done anything like this before, but tonight she's going to go try to sell herself because she needs money.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to survive. And in doing so, she's met by the Fingermen, which are this world's, well, I guess not even a world, this country's police force.
Yeah.
It's all based on anatomy. There's the head, which is, you know, the leaders that
Yeah.
have the eyes, the nose, the mouth,
And the ears.
and the ears.
Yeah.
So the eyes and the ears are constantly surveying everybody. The mouth is meticulously putting out information, and the nose are the investigators,
Mm-hmm.
and the fingermen, police force,
Yeah, they're
so on.
enforcers.
Yeah, so she's trying to sell herself. She's met by these fingermen. Well, she doesn't know they're fingermen
Yeah.
as she's trying to sell herself. And then they reveal that they are fingermen. God, it sounds so fucking weird.
It does. Trying to
Fingermen.
explain. Yeah, it does. Trying to
And it's going
explain
to get weirder because they say, well, we're going to take your service and we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
And that's just immediately throwing you into what kind of story this is, which it has, we've got to mention. Why does it always have to be an underage girl,
Yeah,
Elmore?
and initially, I thought it was okay after, like, I understood why he made her 16 when it got to one of the situations later on, because, like, okay, it makes sense why she's underage for this exact thing to happen. That makes sense. But then she goes on later on in a situation with Gordon. I'm like, no, then why the fuck did, like, you could have just,
You don't even mention
yeah, that it's the way of what it is.
That's weird.
Yeah, which we'll get into that when it happens. But yeah, I like initially I was like, no, this makes sense. He at least has a reason, and then it ends up being like, no, you just, I get why she could have been 19, and the story could have been all been the same.
I don't know. This is with the case of separate the art from the artist.
Man, fuck.
I guess I mean is it really even separating the art from the artist? It's the art from the art. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but anyway, so V saves her
Mhm.
with a lot of V motif in his speech.
A lot of
And
alliteration.
yeah, a lot of alliteration, a lot of Shakespearean like dialogue. He speaks in mystery and riddle, and he takes her to a rooftop where what does he say? Do you know? Do you remember what he says to her? It's like, may the symphony begin or something like that.
Yeah, it's no, like, because I know in the movie it's talking about showing her the orchestra, but I can't remember what it says in the comic because again I've
It's a
watched it
long
three
fucking
times since
comic.
I've read it. By the way, I've watched it 3 times, so it's been a minute. But anyway, he talking about playing music. He's going to show her music basically, and then I'll let you get into what he does.
Then yeah, you hear music, which everything's cleansed. Like
Yeah.
people don't have access to music. People don't have access to art. Like anything that brings about joy, pretty much gone. As you start hearing this classical music over the speakers, she's like, "Oh, what is this?" Boom! Explosion. And she's like, "That was the Parliament building." And he's like, "Yep, yep." Let's say the next big thing that happens is the voice of fate is killed.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice of fate is, to everybody else, the real voice of fate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really just an actor hired by the government or a part of the government to propagandize everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So V takes him out. It's going to cause a lot of unrest if the voice of fate is gone, who they believe to be some divine intervention. So he takes him out on a train car, right?
Yes, yes, they're on a train car, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was such a cool scene in the comic as well. Like the way that it plays out is so, man, it really is like watching it happen. David Lloyd was doing God's work. He really was. It's insane.
Yeah, he's really good at doing like sequential
Mm-hmm.
storytelling where, and also something that we'll see later on, when there's like a flashback or when someone's thinking of something, you see it and like you can see them living through it. So we pick up soon after with the disappearance of the voice of fate. That's important.
Yeah.
So we're introduced to Mr. Finch. That's his name.
Mr. Finch.
So Finch is obviously treating this job like a very mundane, just regular 9 to 5, not like he's protecting a fascist regime, right? So he goes onto the train car. We see the V motif. We see the rose, which will be in a
Scarlet
very
Carson.
important part. What is it?
The Scarlet Carsons.
Scarlet Carson. So it's not a rose.
Yeah, I'm
Or
not a
is it a
fucking.
type of rose?
I'm not a botanist, dude.
I'm not
I
a
don't know.
florist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone is, but yeah. So
Say that again?
they take the dead bodies out because although he didn't kill the voice of fate, he did take some lives,
Mm-hmm.
which we see from the beginning. V isn't a hero
No.
per se.
Ah.
I mean, it's in the eyes of the
Yeah.
beholder, and do the means justify, or do the ends justify the means? Means justify the end. Whatever the fuck.
Also, I think this would be a good time for me to say this now. A big, humongous difference in what Alan Moore hated so much about the movie compared to the book is that V in the book is a total anarchist. He believes that men cannot be free unless there is no government over them, right? That like people should be able to rule themselves. That is the only true freedom in this world, right? Whereas in the movie, he's much more libertarian in his sense. It's not that he believes in no establishment, but he believes that people should have freedom for rights. That government should be scared of their people, not the other way around. So that is a humongous differing factor between the two characters because they're almost different characters altogether, right? They have similarities, but their motivations are completely different. So again, like if you're watching the movie first or reading first, you're going to be seeing two different actions happen, and they're going to have two different motives. And I think it's fair to judge them differently because of how their intentions are about the way they go about doing things. Just want to put that out there first before we continue on.
Yeah, they are very different in their morality, or not morality, in their approach to said terrorism, as they refer to it in the book. Which I mean, that's the thing. It is terrorism.
It's domestic
technically.
terrorism. It is domestic terrorism.
Yeah, it is. But whenever you see how horrible the society is, how fearful its citizens are to step out of line, you're like, is this the only option? Uh, you know?
Yeah.
So V takes Evie into the Shadow Gallery, which is his home, which we'll see is very, very elaborate.
I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so cool.
Trying to think of what's next.
See,
I don't want to.
yeah, I get
It's so
both.
hard to
I
make a
get
video
both.
about this.
I get both mixed up too because they're so blended for me. Because again, I think
Mhm.
I watched the movie, read the entire comic the following week after, then watched the movie again, and then I just watched it again 2 weeks ago. And this has all been in 3 months. So like this is, I've had a lot happen.
Yeah.
Um,
So, well, let me get to this before, because this is a huge part. So I completely forgot to finish my statement.
oh, I'm so
So
sorry.
whenever the voice of fate is kidnapped, he dresses him up in a guard uniform,
Mm-hmm.
and we see he's in this place called Larkhill,
Mm-hmm.
or a recreation of Larkhill, and we're told that Larkhill is basically a concentration camp where all these people that were taken off the streets that weren't white or heterosexual were taken and rid of, to say the least.
Yeah.
But in this specific one, in Larkhill, these people were having experiments done on them,
Mm-hmm.
and the voice of fate, who I forget his name, but he was
Prothero, right?
a general there. What was it?
Prothero.
Yes,
Louis Prothero.
Louis
Yeah.
Prothero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a general there. He oversaw a lot of what happened there, and so as people keep gruesomely dying
Mhm.
from this, from these experiments, there are 5 that are kind of special cases, and they're right, like at the end of that hallway is Prothero's bedroom. So he walks past these doors every day, and they're Roman numerals,
Mm-hmm.
1 through 5. So anyone who knows Roman numerals may know where this is going.
Yeah.
So we find out that the person in the 5th room, aka V, is our protagonist
Yes.
or antagonist, however you want to look at it.
I think he's the
No,
protagonist.
it's not. It's not an antagonist.
Yeah, I think he's the protagonist.
Yeah. So we find out that he was, his. I wrote this down earlier. The right wording. His endurance.
Yeah.
The doctor, who we'll meet up with back in real time,
Yeah.
she was fascinated by his endurance
Mm-hmm.
and almost like intoxicated by the fact that her experiments were going to show some real significance.
Right.
And so she builds a kind of a liking to this V,
Mm-hmm.
and well, they don't call him that, but
Yeah.
but so he's convinces her that he wants to start helping around the place.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to build a garden. He wants to
Yeah.
keep the place clean. So she, with her influence, gets him some fertilizer, gets him like cleaning chemicals, all this stuff. He builds a garden of those
Scarlet
flowers?
Carsons. Scarlet Carsons. A beautiful
Scarlet
stead
Carsons.
of Scarlet Carsons. Yeah.
Yeah. So he builds a garden of those, all that, and he's collecting trash in his room. They're like, what the hell's going on with this guy? Like, he seems very docile and nice, but something's wrong with him. And oh, really? Because you fucking tortured him and
Yeah.
like put chemicals in his body, and he's weird? That's crazy. But eventually he blows the fucking place up. And that little docile framing is gone, and you just see a man, a silhouette in fire.
Yeah. Where he was
And-
burned.
Yeah. So severely disfigured and free, though.
Yeah.
Free.
Mm-hmm.
So that shapes his entire character. And the government even believes that this might be just a personal vendetta. But so I mean, they think it might end. They realize that he's going after everyone who's involved in Larkhill, and that they thought he just appeared on the map.
Yeah.
No, he's been doing this for years already.
And they just
He's
haven't
already
caught him.
picked off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And finally, there's only a couple left, one of which is the girlfriend of Mr. Finch. So, I mean, they keep it under wraps.
Yeah, secret lovers.
Secret lovers. So, but what gets us into this whole thing is Finch approaches her because she was a botanist. Is that what you said? Botanist. She was a botanist, and so she knows flowers. He brings her this. He's like, "What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this flower?" And you see it in her face. She's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. Recognize it instantly.
Like, she probably thought she escaped. So we see V visit her at her home, and she wakes up and she's like, "Oh God, it's you, isn't it?" She said, "Thank God, because I've had to live with what I've done." And she's got a diary, and we'll see more on that diary. But a part of that I thought was kind of funny. She was like, "Are you here to kill me?" He said, "I killed you 10 minutes ago while you were sleeping." He injected, which is faithful in the movie, like word for word. Yeah, he injects her, and one of my favorite scenes in the book is whenever she drops the flower, because it's like it's not showing you this gruesome death or like you can kind of see he almost respects her.
Yeah.
Or like because in his twisted sense of reality, she freed him.
Yeah.
You know? So he gives her a peaceful death. He says there's going to be no pain, and then you just see a panel with her hand limp and the flower laying on her legs. So the body's discovered by Finch. They're realizing that all these are connected too late, and then there's a diary. So he reads the diary, and that's how he finds out everything about V. I think that's probably some of the most important. But later on in the story, he goes almost on a hiatus. He doesn't do anything for a while, and people think it might be over. But it's not. He's waiting for the anniversary of November the 5th. The 5th of November. But all the while is trying to, I was going to say brainwash, but he's trying to enlighten Evie. That's how it is in his mind.
Yeah. I think this is one of the only morally questionable things that he does, but even then,
it gets real bad.
It does. It gets horrible.
So yeah. So after he takes Evie into the Shadow Gallery and she's there for a while and she's very comfortable with him, she starts to realize that he's doing some dark shit and like she's assisting in murder. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the fucking priest.
Oh shit.
So, how about you take this one?
Okay. Again, she offers to help, right? She offers to help V, and she's like, I want to help with your cause. Like, okay, well, I have something that you could do. We cut over to, so also very important. It's a lot more emphasized in the movie, I think, than it is in the book. But it's white Christian nationalism that has taken over this fascist regime, as most fascist governments follow suit with. So this priest is held in the highest regard. Now, again, I can't remember if it's the same. Again, I'm so sorry if I blend stuff. Like, I am very sorry. I'm going to try and keep it separated.
I think this part keeps it mostly in line. It's just it's grosser in the comic.
Yeah, but like in the comic, was he still one of the higher paid individuals in Larkhill? Was that still a thing in the comic? Okay.
Because in the comics he visited Larkhill.
Yeah.
And like blessed them.
Just wanted to make sure. So in this character, this high priest, right? Which again we do believe to be of Protestant faith, I think is the idea. But anyway, he was this figure that went to Larkhill. As you said, he blessed the individuals, and he was kind of there just honestly parading about. I really don't understand what the fucking idea was, but he was one of the highest paid individuals at Larkhill. So again, we cut and we see him talking with one of his advisors, and he mentions how he needs his time for sinning or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing here, okay? He needs a moment to sin.
Like to indulge.
Yeah, to indulge. Oh my god. Oh fuck. So remember how we said that she was 16? V knows of
Yeah, it
this.
comes into play.
Yeah, V knows this, and he sends her to be his prostitute. And again, I'm gonna try not to blend, but there's a conversation between the priest and his advisor or his like lesser, and he's like, "Well, is she ready, or is it ready for my time?" And he said, "Oh, well, there's a mix up. The girl was a little older than what she normally like." He goes, "Oh, not too old, I hope." And he's like, "That's for you to decide." That's again what we're fucking dealing with. All right, that's kind of where we're at, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that one is like panel to page.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
Uh,
Uh,
and
but I mean, in the comic at first, I didn't even realize it was Evie,
yeah,
to be honest,
well,
because they like dolled her up so much. They do it in the movie too, where they put her in like pigtails and like a little
Ugh.
girl dress, and
yeah,
yeah.
And it's his time
There
for
is a
sinning.
part that they didn't include in the movie that I'll mention, where she's trying to like. So obviously she's doing this for V,
Yes.
right? She's trying to drag it along as long as possible, and she's telling him, "Oh, why don't you read to me first? I'll get really turned on if you read me a Bible verse." Is basically what she's saying.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you dirty bitch!" And so he starts reading his fucking
Oh,
Bible,
God.
like, yeah.
Ugh.
But that part is different.
Well,
Because
also,
like I feel like the movie tries to make it almost more black and white, like good versus evil, and like this dude just like hops on her.
yeah. Well, oh no,
Pretty much.
Evie tries to get away from V in the movie. She tells him, she's like, "Hey, this I need to tell you really quickly. There's a man. He's here to kill you. I unlocked the window so that he can."
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so it is different. Her motivations are different the way that she goes about it. And then he's like, "Ooh, I love games," and he's like, "Confess your sins to me." I love the confession game, right? Again, this is a fucking priest. Something else that's different from the movie, from the comic in the movie, is the comic shows the ears listening to this conversation, and they say, "Oh, it's children's hour at so and so's place." So they're aware that this
And
is
they're
what he
tuning
does.
in.
Exactly, and they listen to what's going on, and then that's how they get alerted to the situation. But again, this shows very clearly the government knows what he's doing. They know what he partakes in, and they even find it comical because they have a name, the Children's Hour. Like that's think
Yeah.
about the context of what we're talking about, and they call it Children's Hour. So
Yeah, it's like children's moment at like a church
yeah,
whenever they do like worship with children. It's weird. Yeah, they're tuning in trying to get a little bit of it for themselves, you
yeah,
know. He dies in the same way in the book and in the comic, but in the comic we see it.
yeah,
We see he makes him get on his knees and he asks him about, I forget what the term is, but the belief system that whenever the whenever the communion reaches the mouth, it changes then to the body of Christ.
hmm
And V's like, so whatever is in this will be the body of Christ, right? And he says, yes. He says, so take it. And he puts it on his tongue. And then we discover it was soaked in cyanide. And I thought that was a very poetic way of bringing about his end. Because, I mean, obviously he's a priest and not
Yeah.
acting very godly.
right.
And his death was brought about by communion. It's just poetic.
He also sings "Sympathy for the Devil" by Rolling Stones when he does it, and I think that's so fucking cool. And they also draw little devil horns on him, and I think a tail. It's really it's fun. It's such a I love V for doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Also-
like he's obviously a maniac, but
Well,
it's like kind of the necessity of this regime needing to end.
yeah, I don't
brings about
I don't know if
this.
I would call him a maniac, man. I think he's more of because I think he's very in tune
He
with
knows
what's
exactly
going.
what he's
Yeah,
doing. You're
Well,
right.
I'm not even talking about like the clinical. I think that he's very calculated in what he's doing, but also, I mean, I think that he's simply pushed to a point that he has to respond in such a violent way. Because I mean, I think everything he does up until the situation with Evie is justified. I really do. Uh, and
Yeah, like the regime needs to fall.
yeah, like there needs to be
There,
revolutionary
it's
actions.
past being able to just fix things. It needs to completely topple and be rebuilt, which is a motif.
Um,
Apologies for that.
so I think the next thing that I want to break down is it's during Evie's confinement. Or do you want to get
Yeah,
into Gordon?
that's the next thing.
No, do we need to get into Gordon first? I think because the difference
Oh,
there.
right.
Um,
So picking up where after the fact, she's like, "Oh, you're like, I'm gonna be an accessory in murder.
mhm,
Like this isn't just blowing up buildings." Which I
right.
mean, I don't know what the fuck she thought. I mean, people were in that building,
Yeah.
But she's like, "Oh, I'm assisting in murder. This is serious," and she doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. So he lets her leave. Which in the comic versus the movie just she didn't leave willy nilly.
Yeah,
No,
she
she
just
just leaves like at any
sure
time
left.
in and
Yeah.
out. Like she doesn't
Oh well,
have
no,
a say.
no, she does have to stay for the first year, and then
Oh, the
she
first
yeah.
year.
So whenever
It's just
she
the pacing is so fast.
yeah, that's honestly I think the biggest downside of the movie is that you just don't have enough time to spend with it, and that's what I was
You
trying to
don't
get text.
you don't get to see enough of like the detective
Yeah.
aspect, like the behind the scenes of the leader. I think that's a fantastic part.
Yeah.
How the leader is almost like in love with this computer, this all-seeing eye. And he's like, "Am I a fascist? Yes, I'm a fascist."
Yeah.
He's like, "Have I ever felt the love of a woman? No."
Yeah, yeah. He's very self-aware, you know. But he believes that a people cannot function without rules, and he believes that he's doing a good thing setting those rules in place, or there's chaos, and chaos cannot be let
Yeah,
fester.
he thinks that them having freedom gives them the freedom to die and
Yeah.
suffer, is what he says.
Yeah.
So he thinks he's just, but you'll see later on he has some doubts.
Yeah.
As the screen, V fucking with him,
Yeah.
puts on the screen, "I love you,"
Mhm.
and this dude just breaks because he's like, "I've never been told
Yeah.
that I'm loved, and it's from this thing that I see so highly." And he was like, "Was that my imagination? Was that real?" But like he becomes a completely different person. It's awesome. Which like we get absolutely none of that in the movie.
Right.
There is no characterization for the leader. All the people are kind of just seem like the big bads when really it's just like not everybody's fault, but like he says in the comic, there's a whole monologue where he's treating them as if they're like his client, not his client, his employees.
Oh
And
man, I love
you're
that.
gonna be fired.
I wish they would have kept that. I really do. I love it so much.
I suppose you're wondering why I've called you here this evening. Well, you see, I'm not entirely satisfied with your performance lately. I'm afraid your work's been slipping, and, well, I'm afraid we've been thinking about letting you go. Oh, I know, you've been with the company a long time now. Let me see, almost 10,000 years. My word, doesn't time fly? It seems like only yesterday. I remember the day. I remember the day you commenced your employment, swinging down from trees, fresh-faced and nervous, a bone clasped in your bristling fist. Where do I start, sir? You ask plaintively. Speaking of the human race as a whole, if you didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
I wasn't speaking at you, by the way. I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
picked that up. I recall my exact words. There's a pile of dinosaur eggs over there, young sister, I said, smiling paternally the while. Get sucking. Well, we've certainly come a long way since then, haven't we? And yes, you're right. In all that time, you haven't missed a day. Well, sorry, I got a burp. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Also, please don't think I've forgotten about your outstanding service record or about all the invaluable contributions that you've made to the company. Fire, the wheel, agriculture, it's an impressive list, old timer. A jolly impressive list, don't get me wrong. But well, to be frank, we've had our problems too. There's no getting away from it. Do you know what I think a lot of it stems from? I'll tell you. Oof. It's your basic unwillingness to get on with the company. You don't seem to want to face up any real responsibility or to be your own boss. Lord knows you've been given plenty of opportunities. We've offered you promotion time and time again, and each time you've turned us down. I can't handle the work, governor. You've wheedled my what? Sorry, some of Alan Moore's vocabulary is not.
But he also uses slang too in this, and like uses accent in the writing as well. So he writes it as the accent.
So I couldn't handle the word, governor. I know my place. To be frank, you're not trying, are you? You see, you've been standing still for far too long, and it's starting to show in your work. And I might add, in your general standard of behavior, the constant bickering on the factory floor has not escaped my attention, nor the recent bouts of rowdiness in the staff canteen. Then, of course, well, I didn't really want to have to bring this up, but you see, I've been hearing some disrupting rumors about your personal life. No, never mind who told me. No names, no pack drill. I understand that you are unable to get on with your spouse. I hear that you argue. I'm told that you shout. Violence has been mentioned. I'm reliably informed that you always hurt the ones you love, the ones you shouldn't hurt at all. And what about the children? It's always the children who suffer, as you're well aware. Poor little mites, what are they to make of it? What are they to make of your bullying, your despair, your cowardice, and all your fondly nurtured bigotries? Really, it's not good enough, is it? It's no good blaming the drop in work standards upon bad management either, though to be sure, the management is very bad. In fact, let us not mince words. The management's terrible. We've had a string of embezzlers, frauds, liars, and lunatics making a string of catastrophic decisions. This is plain fact. But who elected them? It was you. You who appointed these people. You who gave them the power to make your decisions for you. While I admit that anyone can make a mistake once, to go on making the same lethal errors century after century seems to me nothing short of deliberate. You have encouraged these malicious incompetents who have made your work life a shamble. You have accepted without question their senseless orders. You have allowed them to fill your workspace with dangerous and unproven machines. You could have stopped them. All you had to say was no. You have no spine. You have no pride. You are no longer an asset to the company. I will, however, be generous. You will be granted 2 years to show me some improvement in your work. If at the end of that you are still unwilling to make a go of it, you're fired. You will be all, or that will be all. You may return to your labors.
I
Sorry,
love it.
that was long.
Yeah, I love it.
You might even be able to cut some of that out.
I probably
but
won't. I probably won't. I'll probably do the whole thing.
That's just, if you've made it this far,
Yeah.
that's just an inkling of what you get from Alan Moore's writing. The philosophical questions are off the chart.
Well,
Because
sorry, we didn't even go over his
go ahead.
conversation with Lady Justice. Like, that is also such a great fucking moment that's left out of the fucking movie.
So he's speaking to Lady Justice as if she's a cheating wife.
Yeah.
So the Lady Justice is just a fucking statue.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you sit so pretty right there. I used to have so much faith in you. I used to be enthralled by you,
Yeah.
but you cheated on me. You cheated on me with a lesser man, basically saying that justice isn't shit anymore."
Yeah. But also, he also mentions his own infidelity, that how he's been playing around with this other thing, and
Anarchy?
in her infidelity, he has found his own, and his new mistress, his new dark mistress, is anarchy. It's such a great fucking passage. God, dude, I got chills, man. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's hard. Clearwater hasn't read a comic since.
Yeah, I have
because
read
he
some
just
single issues, but
single issues. He hasn't read a trade since.
yeah,
Because it's hard after, man, like, this will just sit with you for a couple days.
yeah, dude,
Because
fucking weeks, bro, months.
Yeah, because you realize that as an American people, we aren't too far off.
Well, I think, honestly, I think if it wasn't 2026 and we weren't in our current state of the world, I do not think the movie would have hit me the way that it hit me. I don't think the book would have hit me the way that it hit me. And that's another thing that I really wanted to get into. Going back and forth. I'm so sorry for those having a lack of structure here. Something to point out about.
Maybe we can do another one where we do have more structure.
Yeah, maybe.
This is an amazing piece of literature.
Yeah, it's definitely. I wish this would get taught in schools, but I wonder why it's not. Anyway, the book was written during the Thatcher administration in the UK, and I don't know much about UK politics at all. So let me be clear, I'm not an expert here. Okay, all I can gather is that she was more of a far right conservative leader who kind of leaned into more fascist ideas. And Alan Moore even has a passage at the beginning of my trade paperback where he's talking about how he was scared and was about to take his children out of London and they were going to move somewhere else because he's worried about where it's going. And the things that he's describing in that passage is exactly what we're going through in America today. And I'm not going to get into the entire basis of politics, but you can't be blind to what's going on.
Just like, to say the least,
you
streets
froze
because
again.
of
You froze again.
their ethnicity.
You froze again.
No.
I swear, yeah, this is actually that's rigged.
I mean, I'm saying, to say the least, people are being taken off the streets for their skin color, their ethnicity, you name it.
We have a fucking senator calling out saying that homosexuality has no place in America. Like, you know what I mean? It's 2026 and he's fucking saying that shit. Anyway, this movie, when it got made, right, it was made by the Wachowski brothers, who also made The Matrix, if you're familiar with that, right? And so something to give you a little history.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's also the director of The Matrix 2 and 3. So the writers were the Wachowski brothers, and the director was the director of The Matrix 2 and 3. So something to know about with cinema is that mid 80s to late 90s, American cinema had I think global cinema, but America specifically, had a very anti-establishment take. You had things like Fight Club. You had things like, but this is still leaning off of, this is the 80s going back into it. Then again, you have things like Terminator, things like Alien, things like, again, The Matrix. You have all these movies that are coming out that are very anti-establishment, very anti the man. And people were kind of having that idea because of just the way the world was going. They're coming off the Reagan era, going after just different politics were not a good place in America at the time, right? And then you have 2001, right? You have 9/11 that happens. After 9/11, American cinema takes a whole other turn. Patriotism comes back. Trusting in the man and the government is at a forefront. And cinema was kind of pushing that idea that we need to trust the establishment because it's such a rocky time in the world. And I can only imagine why, right? The thing about the 2005 movie is it is about American politics. It's based in the UK, but it's all about the Patriots Act in America, which, if you're not familiar, after 9/11, the Patriots Act was passed where you could be, if you're saying anything that gives terroristic ideas, you can be arrested without reason, held without reason, tortured without reason, right? Again, any of those things, anything that was labeled terroristic, right? Doesn't matter. Anything that was anti-government was seen as terrorism. Again, if you were a Muslim in general, you had reason to be arrested and then tortured, and you didn't have to have due process. You didn't have to have any of those things that happened through the Patriots Act. So the Wachowski brothers made this movie as a motif to that era of American politics and how scary it was. And again, whenever you see this play out in the movie, it makes so much sense when you think about that. And I think that's why it also resonates so much with me because it's such a important issue that I see in our world that we just let that shit happen and we continue to let it happen. Like it's not like it's gotten better. You know what I mean? And I also think that's why Alan Moore has such a huge issue with the film was because of the fact that it was about American politics, it was not about the UK. But also at the same time, we're
Yeah,
talking a 20-year difference in a political spectrum. Like it has to be modernized to an extent.
yeah, it definitely. That's what one of my biggest takeaways from the movie is. It's definitely not a direct adaptation of the book, and it almost feels like a sanitized version a lot of the time to me personally,
Well, I think that
where you're not asked to like harbor on the same disgusting realities that you are in the book.
I I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think that this hits more points specifically. Like so, this one because again, you do focus on white Christian nationalism in the book, but it's more of leaning more into the fascist Nazistic motifs, where it really leans heavy into the Nazism. But I think in the movie, it highlights like you see specifically like I know you have words like the one quote that I told you about in the text, where whenever he's messing with fate, whenever he's kind of toying with fate and what he says, talking about different people and how it's us versus them. But in the movie, you see gay couples get captured. You see him mention the Quran and how all religious texts are banned. You see him talking
Oh
about
yeah,
how
and how Gordon was like killed for having the Quran.
well, he wasn't killed for having the Quran. He was killed for making a joke about the leader, which
Yeah,
also
yeah,
by
but then what?
um, we just recently in the last 3 weeks had a very famous late night TV talk show host make a joke about our president's wife, and then our president blasted him on Twitter saying that he is a horrible person. He deserves to be fired. He deserves to have his job taken away. He deserves to be blacklisted. I don't want to see him ever again on TV. I just want to point out that as well. Uh, but yeah, you're right. He was killed for having the Quran. I do apologize. But also, again, his entire house had propaganda, but the propaganda was art. It was
Yeah,
he had gay pornography. He had the Quran. He had all these things that were just expression. Uh, and that's what he was killed for. Where you don't see that in the book.
we never went back to the Gordon thing
Oh yeah, yeah,
from the
we did
comic.
not. Yeah, we did not. Yeah, there is a
Well,
difference.
so just to say, I feel like there's a big difference between Gordon in the comic and
Two different people.
the uh, in the movie.
Yes.
Gordon is like, I mean, it's hard to explain, I guess. I feel like in the comic there is some implication that he's kind of a pussy,
Yeah.
that like he's a pushover, that like although he has these ideas of like radical change or like how we shouldn't be living like this, he just lives with it. And
Yeah.
he's like the example of the everyday citizen in the book versus the novel. It's like night and day, where the people in the book are like scared into submission.
Mhm.
And it's like the people in the movie are almost like unaware of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they're being misled and they don't know anything. People in the book were watching people get snatched up. They were watching like all this unfold and didn't do anything about it.
Well,
So they're a lot more complacent in everything happening in the book, which I thought was a much better touch. But with Gordon specifically, it's not like Gordon he published a paper in the book, right?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, but it wasn't until after he brought Evie, first of all, a fucking minor who he's now in love with.
I think he's in his like 40s. I think, and
Yeah.
he sleeps with Evie. They do sleep together.
Okay, well let's go back to that part then.
Yeah.
So after she
Yeah.
back to this,
Dude.
after
So
she finds out that she's being an accessory in murder, she leaves, and this guy Gordon takes her in. And at first, we just think that this is a good guy, you know, who
Yeah.
doesn't want to, or like who just wants to save her, right?
Yeah.
We just think he's a good guy, and then it's slowly getting weirder, just the way he's talking to her. Then he brings her to a bar, like this show where there's like a stripper, and she's talking about how like she's in love with Nazis, basically.
Yeah.
And he's getting her drunk, and then she's like super fucked up. He's like, here's another. And then this guy, this is like a turning point for this part of the book. This guy starts freaking out, just like blurts out that it's like, I think it was they took his mom. He was like, well, what's gonna happen with my mom? And he's like, she's going to the old folks home. But we find out the old folks home, they just fucking kill him too.
Yeah.
Which also in the movie wasn't shown because they had old folks home watching the news.
Yeah.
So we find out that they even kill old people.
Yeah.
Like, not only are they killing people of another race, they're also just killing the old people. So his mom, he was like, no, I can take care of her. They're like, no, she's going to the old folks home. And they're like, basically what that means is she's just gonna get beat to death. And so he starts freaking out and he's yelling. He's like, we shouldn't live like this anymore. We shouldn't. This is horrible that we live under these people's finger. And he's beat to death in the bar. And that's what drives Gordon to come out. And it's like he's at a breaking point because he was so complacent this whole time. He's just like the sit-in character for everybody in Britain.
Yeah.
You know, or the stand-in for everybody in Britain, because he was complacent until the breaking point.
I mean, do you not think that that's a representation of how, like, what we're currently going through? Because think about all the shit that's happened just from January. Because, like, again,
that's exactly why it's so
important.
Like, yeah.
Because it's like, dude, I don't know how to say
it gets fucking depressing when you start realizing how close to this we are.
I mean, I don't know how to say it without just being direct with it, so I'm just gonna fucking say it. If you think I need to cut it, I'll cut it. Again, we started off with seeing this shit happen with Renee Nicole Good, then Alex Preddy, right? Let alone what was happening with ICE in general, but then whenever we see them murder people directly on live TV, and then we found people have justification for it, right? Then that leads into where other reports are happening, where people were dying in detention centers, women were coming up pregnant in detention centers.
Yeah.
All these things that were happening, you had people that were being detained without due process, and then having to explain to people that everyone on American soil has rights. Children being ripped from their homes, children being used,
fucking taken up, children being held hostage,
and then being
so
used
that they
as
can
bait.
get their parents.
Yeah. So you have all these things happen, and then it's like, oh well, they're breaking the rules. They deserve it. And then you have the Epstein files, which was the whole thing that we were pushing on for this administration to have released, right? You have some of them released, and you have the worst things ever reported in American, like in history, not even American
mind
history.
You, they're legally obligated to release them all,
and we still don't have them. And we still don't have them. And we redacted the names of the people involved. Yet we released them to the victims. And I'm talking about things. And we had our what was her title, man? I can't remember if it was the head of the DOJ. I think it was the head of the DOJ.
Pam Bondi?
Yeah, it was Pam Bondi, but I can't remember what her exact title was. But it might have been the head of the DOJ. Anyway, saying that if she arrested every person on those files, we would have no government. That was a direct quote on the fucking congressional floor. And it's like, like, what does that mean, dude? What do you mean? Like, if that is the case,
if you're angry about this, read this fucking book.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm saying this to the person, I'm self-aware of it. My only fucking war that I've had is communication with friends and my fucking poetry. So it's like, you see all these things and it's like, dude, we should have burned the fucking system down at fucking Renee Nicole Good at ICE in June last year, whenever they sent the fucking Marines into California. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, I have a job. You know, I can't.
Yeah.
People have to survive.
Yeah.
You know, I can't just like leave my job to go protest. That's exactly what we're meant to do. We're supposed to be scared into submission. exactly like in fucking V for Vendetta.
Yeah. And it's like, dude,
But
you see all of these films, books, movies, everything that where you see an evil regime that is like fascistic, right? You see a resistance. Everyone's like, oh, they roof their resistance. You think Star Wars, you think Hunger Games, you think anything of that in that realm, and it's so fucking clear who the bad guy is, right? So fucking clear who is the right, who's in the right, and who's in the wrong. Yet when it's happening live, we as a people can't fucking decide. Like I have people in my personal life that I love dearly that disagree with what I'm talking about right now. Like that is how
yeah, me
serious this
too.
is. And it's like it's insane to me that it's like you can see anything that has happened in the last year and a half, and you're like, yeah, that's cool, that's all right. We fucking
Yeah,
we sent
but
a
but the thing is, if I got them to read this book,
they
they
would
would be
say,
like,
yeah,
"Oh wow, that's fucking horrible."
yeah that's
Like really, it's like,
yeah
but
man
because it's a story that they
yeah
can realize it's horrible.
yeah
But I
yeah
feel like a lot of it is these people don't want to be wrong,
yeah
and there's no way they don't see it.
well, we have an act of genocide that's happened in fucking Gaza that we paid for, and then
Well,
we sent a missile to kill 112 12-year-old girls, or 162 12-year-old
yeah,
girls, and
I brought that up to somebody in my family, and they were like, that didn't happen."
dude, our president said that we had a missile stolen from us, and then they used our missile to do it.
Yeah, he was like, "No, they bombed themselves actually."
Yeah, with our missile.
Yeah.
And then Hegseth was saying we had bad intelligence. We're probably gonna have to cut this entire bit out. We're both gonna get fucking black. We're gonna get black bagged.
Not so funny now, is it? Funny man.
Jesus Christ. Like from the movie.
Yeah. We're gonna end up. Oh
that
fuck.
that another thing to mention, that is definitely more, the movie is about American politics.
Yeah.
You're very right about that.
Yeah.
Because like getting black bagged, that's like a fucking CIA thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It
know,
is. Yeah.
like disappearing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And
For saying too much or knowing
so,
too much.
but the thing was, in the book, they didn't so much as black bag them, they just fucking murdered them.
Yeah, it's right there in the
They
street.
didn't care.
Yeah.
Dude, Gordon in the book got stabbed through a door with a sword.
Yeah. In broad daylight.
Yeah.
At his own home. Like.
Yeah.
It's not like it was fucking like
There's
hidden.
no fucking sugarcoating that shit. No beating around the bush. They didn't give a fuck because nobody was going to do anything about it.
Who's gonna say something? Because I feel like people need a fucking Caesar. Like I feel like that's just something that like humans need as individuals, and we end up latching on to the wrong ones. Because like but by Caesar I mean someone that is willing to stand up for what they believe in, or what the general populace believes, and then push for an idea, right? But you usually see that in a negative sense, like someone like, because that's exactly what Hitler did. Hitler took the general ideas and concerns of the people, convinced them of a common enemy, and then led up front. Certain things like our fucking current leader has done. It's convinced people that there's an enemy within our state, and then made their anger point towards that. But again, I think
Yeah,
that's
not
like
to mention, have you heard of like all like the military training going on in like blue cities?
no.
Like maybe it's more reported on because I'm in California,
Yeah.
but like cities like Pasadena and I forget there's another one. They're doing like military drills in like abandoned buildings and shit, like straight up letting off gunfire and explosions and shit. Like
That's
because it dates back to probably about a year ago where he was saying that the enemy is in with it, the enemy. It's the enemy within,
yeah.
and why not use these places as training ground?
Yeah, because that's exactly what we need in this world.
Because he's going to deploy them on us for disagreeing.
Which I mean,
And if
we've already seen that
and
happen.
if he actually does get kicked out of office or doesn't come back to office, he'll just be the prime minister of Israel, so he'll still rule us anyway.
Yeah, it's dude. Like I fucking damn, this is a good book. Fucking oh
And like
man.
we haven't even. I feel like we should definitely should post this. I think we should also like next week maybe, or give ourselves a break, but do like a comprehensive like
Overview.
video.
Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah,
Um,
because this is just us talking.
yeah, just us
You
yapping.
know, we could do like a more formatted video
Yeah, I
where
agree.
we actually like try to prepare for it.
Also, to anyone thinking that we're having a far stretch of comparing the two here, I need you to understand the book opens up with the fucking leader's tagline being "Make Britain Great Again," and the book came out in 85 or
I'm
86.
telling you. I'm
Like,
telling you.
like it's not. We're not bullshitting here, okay? Like,
Whenever I opened the book, I immediately closed it back up and texted him. I was like, dude.
that's fucking great. That's great.
Yeah, there's only one more thing or two more things. Fuck, three more things.
Next, dude, we're an hour and 20 in, dude. We're probably gonna have to cut a lot of it if I had to guess, but
Yeah. So we didn't talk about her getting captured.
yes, which that leads
So
to a
we see
big thing for me. Continue.
the whole thing with Evie's character. The reason she left V is because she didn't want to be an accessory to murder. She didn't want to be a part of this. So she leaves. She meets Gordon, falls in love. They kill him because he speaks out against their government. And this brings her to a point where she's about to kill someone.
Yeah.
So then V kidnaps her. But we don't know it's V at the time.
Yeah.
To be fair, somebody kidnaps her. We think it's a part of the Finger, and brought to like a detention center where she's tortured. Try to coerce her into a confession. They try to like fabricate a confession that she has to sign. She's trapped in a prison cage. She's in a cell that's like probably fucking 4x4. She's got a rat that constantly comes through there, and with David Lloyd's art, you see like the deterioration of her. Like she goes from like a good-looking girl to she looks like a fucking Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
And like they shave her head, dunk her head in water, fucking waterboard her, like
she's being starved.
all the things in the book.
Yeah.
What do you say?
She's being starved as well. Well, like not really. She's being fed very small portions.
Yeah.
And she's trapped in a fucking concrete cell. She's freezing. Like it's horrible. It's a horrible conditions to be living in.
And she gets this note that's from somebody named Valerie. It's about a lesbian woman who.
I got it here. Can I read? Can I read it?
You have it?
Yeah, I have it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. This is my favorite thing I think from the book. One of the most important things I think. Well, this and like probably the justice talk. But anyway, I'm gonna read the entire. And this is from the book. I made sure. Okay. I don't know who you are. Please believe there is no way I can convince you that this is not one of their tricks. But I don't care. I am me, and I don't know who you are, but I love you. I have a pencil, a little one they did not find. I am a woman. I hid it inside me. Perhaps I won't be able to write again. So this is a long letter about my life. It is the only autobiography I'll ever write, and oh God, I'm writing it on toilet paper. I was born in Nottingham in 1957, and it rained a lot. I passed my 11 plus and went to girls' grammar. I wanted to be an actress. I met my first girlfriend at school. Her name was Sarah. She was 14 and I was 15, but we were both in Miss Watson's class. Her wrists were beautiful. I sat in biology class staring at the pickled rabbit's fetus in the jar, listening while Mr. Hurd said it was an adolescent phase that people outgrew. Sarah did, I didn't. In 1976, I stopped pretending and took a girl called Christine home to meet my parents. A week later, I moved to London, enrolling at a drama college. My mother said I broke her heart, but it was my integrity that was important. Is that so selfish? It sells for so little, but it's all we have left in this place. It is the very last inch of us. But within that inch, we are free. London. I was happy in London. I got chills right now. I was in 1981. I played in Didini in Cinderella, my first rep work. The world was strange and rustling and busy, with invisible crowds behind the hot lights and all the breathless glamour. It was exciting and it was lonely. At nights I'd go to Gateways or one of the other clubs, but I was standoffish and didn't mix easily. I saw a lot of the scene, but I never felt comfortable there. So many of them just wanted to be gay. It was their life, their ambition, all they talked about, and I wanted more than that. Work improved. I got small film roles. The bigger ones in 1986. I starred in The Salt Flats. It pulled in the awards, but not the crowds. I met Ruth working on that. We loved each other. We lived together, and on Valentine's Day, she sent me roses. And oh God, we had so much. Those are the best 3 years of my life. So I guess Scarlett Carson's are roses. In 1988, there was the war. And after that, there was no more roses. Not for anybody. In 1992, after the takeover, they started rounding up the gays. They took Ruth while she was out for food. Why are they so frightened of us? They burned her with cigarette ends and made her give them my name. She signed a statement saying I seduced her. I didn't blame her. God, I loved her. I didn't blame her, but she did. She killed herself in her cell. She couldn't live with betraying me, with giving up that last inch. Oh, Ruth, they came for me. They told me that all my films would be burned. They shaved off my hair. They held my head down into a bowl and told jokes about lesbians. They brought me here and gave me drugs. I can't feel my tongue anymore. I can't speak. The other gay woman here, Rita, died 2 weeks ago. I imagine I'll die quite soon. It is strange that my life should end in such a terrible place, but for 3 years I had roses and apologized to nobody. I shall die here. Every inch of me shall perish, except one. An inch. It's small and it's fragile, and it's the only thing in this world that's worth having. We must never lose it or sell it or give it away. We must never let them take it from us. I don't know who you are, whether you're a man or a woman. I may never see you, I may never hug you or cry with you or get drunk with you, but I love you. I hope you escape this place. I hope the world turns and that things get better, and that one day people will have roses again. I wish I could kiss you. Valerie. Damn near brought me to fucking tears, dude.
That's kind of shit that just makes you want to like run out into the sun with like my arms up and be like, wow, like
Yeah, that's, oh my God.
I
God is in the
am
rain.
free.
Oh, so sorry.
Hello.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. So they're trying to get her to sign something. I can't exactly remember what it is.
Isn't
but
it
it's
to reveal who V is? Like to give up V's location?
Yeah, but she doesn't even know who V is.
To give up his location, like any information on him, if I'm not mistaken, like to give up where the shadow gallery is or something like that.
Yeah, it's something. No, they write a statement for her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That like V kidnapped. This is what it is. That V kidnapped her and like made her help him with all this terrorist shit. But she's like, he didn't kidnap me though. He didn't.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm not gonna sign that. She's like, well, take her out back and shoot her then. And then this guy comes and opens up her cell, and she's like, what is it? God, I'm losing it.
He says something like just do what they want. Like all you have to do is say this, you'll be free. Like you just have to give up this. And she's like, I'd rather die behind the shed.
And then, he says, then you're free.
Yeah. And he leaves.
And then the doors open.
Yeah.
She wanders, and she finds that all these people have been fucking interrogating her are just voice boxes.
Yeah.
And like mannequins or like fake people. And she walks out the door, and she's in the shadow gallery.
It was V the whole time.
It was V torturing her single-handedly. He kidnapped her, tortured her, and we find out she's like, oh, I was gonna. She's trying to leave because she's like, I can't believe you did this to me. I trusted you, but here, take this note. I was gonna keep it, but it's disingenuous now that I know you wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I didn't write it. That's what radicalized me.
Yeah.
She was the woman in room 4. She was right next to me. That was the note that he got passed through the wall.
Just as she did.
Yeah, that radicalized him, that freed him, that set him upon this journey. So he set her upon the journey just the way it happened to him, which at first she's like about to have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
She's about to die in this dude's arms, and then she realizes she's free.
Yeah, he brings her out in the rain.
Yeah. So it's like I love this part. I would assume that you gathered this. I don't know. The fact that his freedom started in in a shower of fire.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very obviously, is malignant the right word? I don't know. He was trying to tear things down.
Yeah.
His whole journey is to bring about the fall of this government, and her birth started in the rain.
Yeah.
With the cold, the opposite of fire, and hers is to rebuild.
Yes.
So I thought it was beautiful to juxtapose that, because he was born into fire and she was born into rain.
Yeah.
And they take on two completely different roles.
Yes.
And so then we see V die.
We do see V die.
Oh, well, shit. Finch takes a bunch of fucking LSD.
Oh yeah, he does do that.
Finch reads all of his secret lover's diary, realizes all this bad shit that she did, takes a bunch of LSD, walks through it, lives through it himself, and then realizes, oh wow, we are fucked.
Yeah.
And
V also orchestrates one of their party members' wives to assassinate the leader.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he manipulates the situation to lead that, which is such a I think I like
That's such
that
a
way.
good through line through the story.
I think it's a good. I think I like that better than how they handle it in the movie. But I still like how they handle it in the movie. But yeah, he manipulates one of the party members' wives into assassinating the president, and she does it like on like a red carpet. Like he's getting out of his like limousine, and she
Well,
walks up and just boom.
he's trying to flee,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
is the greatest thing. Because at that point in the story, nobody trusts him anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks he's a pushover, and they're trying to like elect new people. There's a whole fucking storyline where this guy's being manipulated by his wife, who's cheating on him,
Mhm.
and like, there's a bunch of people hiring other people to secure
Yeah.
somebody's
Yeah.
spot, and we see that this guy, this widow of somebody, the head of the finger previously, Almond, who was killed by V, his wife goes down a very bad path, and she becomes a stripper,
Mhm.
and then she ends up like hooking up with his former coworker, and then he dies, and then she's just plunged into darkness. She buys a gun, and then as he's leaving the country, he's looking back, and he's like, maybe I should wave back. And he waves back, and he sees everybody sees her run up, and they're like, oh, that's just Almond's wife. Let her pass. It'll be good for optics.
Mhm.
And then he opens the door. Damn.
Yeah, right in the head. Dude, I just got $1 billion. Open up. Anyway, which again, the way they handle it in the movie is that V convinces another party member that he's going to take the blame after everything crumbles. So bring him the leader, and then he will give himself up to the guy so he can get the claim to fame. So the head of the finger.
It was Creedy, right?
Yeah, that he did a great job at making me fucking hate him. Holy shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Creedy's also like a pretty different character in the book.
Yeah, most of them are.
Yeah, because in the biggest takeaway is that in the movie it's like the leader and like 5 guys.
Yeah.
And like these are the villains.
Right.
But like in the comic it's like everybody.
It's a network. Yeah, it's a network.
Yeah.
So Creedy captures the leader, brings him to V. They meet in a subway station, and he has a group of fingermen with him, and then dude, he just blows dude's brains out like right there. And then Creedy's like, all right, time to die. And then he has the firing squad happen, which by the way, really cool.
And then
scene.
you get some like Zack Snyder-esque fucking
knife work.
V like sword movement.
Yeah, I think it's the most comic booky part of the whole thing. I think it's the most comic booky scene.
Where like you see like the trail of the blades and shit.
It looks cool though. I really
enjoyed
enjoyed
it. Was pretty cool though.
And then that's how V dies.
And we haven't
dies
mentioned what was the actor's name?
Hugo Weaving, I think that's how you say his name. For context, he's Agent Smith from The Matrix. He is the head guy in Avatar. Like he's the head of the Na'vi in Avatar 1, like the father, and he's also the High Elf in Lord of the Rings. So this guy
and Red Skull,
and he is Red Skull. That is so true. Weird to play a fascist and then to play this great guy, but he did, and he wasn't even the original guy. They had a whole other dude casted and had multiple lines out. Like they had multiple scenes filmed with him, and then there was a difference in opinion, so he got fired, and then they had to go redo everything with Hugo Weaving, but it was mostly just voiceovers. A lot of the actual, yeah, he did some of the scenes, but a lot of the scenes were the other guy, and they just did his voiceover.
One thing that I didn't love about the fact that it was him playing it, which had nothing to do with him. It had nothing to do with him. It was just the fact whenever Evie is imprisoned and you see, did it cut out?
No, I was paying attention to you.
Like you froze for a second.
Oh no.
Whenever Evie is imprisoned and the person comes and asks her, like, just to do this one thing and she'll be free, you can see Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
You can tell 100% that it's him.
Yeah.
And then, but
she has her back turned. She's not looking at him, you know. And he has a different voice.
She's not looking at him, but also it's like he's got a full head of hair and like isn't disfigured, which works when you don't know what's about to happen.
Maybe he's wearing a wig.
That's true. Yeah. Forget it.
No. I'm just rebuttaling points.
Also, Natalie Portman isn't 16.
Yeah, that is a very big thing. She is an adult in this. So that is very nice.
They still do dress her up like. See, it proves exactly that she did not need to be 16.
That is the whole fucking point.
You did everything except, like, you even dressed her up as the child. You just made her look younger,
Yeah.
which you did anyway as a 16-year-old, so she didn't need to be 16.
Yeah, that proves our point that you don't need to have the underage stuff happen, especially if you're not doing it for actually good commentary.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about this. Is honestly, I think this is why I love this movie so much. Like real shit. I have cried 3 times at this scene. Like every time that I've seen this movie, and when I say cried, I don't mean I was sitting there sobbing. I mean I teared up. You know what I'm saying? It elicits so much emotion out of me. But what V does, because does he do the mask plot in the book? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He does. So he sends out all the masks still. Okay. He does that.
That, no.
Okay, so in the movie, he has this
Yeah,
idea
that
where
is a big difference, a big improvement.
he mails out to every citizen in London a box with his mask, his hat, and his cape, right, and his wig. So like everyone can dress up and look like him, right? So that's where anarchy comes. That's the only time anarchy is mentioned in the movie, by the way. But anarchy is in the UK because everyone is dressing up as V and they're acting out. There's a protest happening. There's a girl that's spray painting on the wall, and there's this girl that is she's young, like probably like 9. She's caught graffitiing V symbol. A fingerman tries to stop her. She runs away. He shoots her in the back. Right.
Yeah.
So there's other stuff that's happening all around with this, but V asked everyone to meet them at the Parliament building because in the movie he blows it to Old Bailey at the start, and then Parliament's the end goal, right? He asked everyone to meet him at the Old Bailey at the Parliament building on November 5th to launch this new thing off. So what happens is V dies, right? And Evie is tasked with the choice of blowing up Parliament or letting it go, like just letting it go, because again V realized that it's not up to him; it shouldn't be his choice. So he leaves it up to Evie, and Evie decides to go through with it. Well, what you see is these armed guards outside of the Parliament building, and it's a whole militant force. They have like I think they have a tank, they have Humvees, they're on, and then all of them are armed and everything, and then you just see an angle where you're looking at this like fountain where a humongous crowd. I mean, hundreds, if not thousands of people. I got chills
Probably
right
thousands. They're like just completely
it's like a fucking
the streets.
sea of them wearing V's outfit. So you just have, again, like I said, thousands of people unified with this idea. And then you have these officers that are saying, what do we do? Do we need commands? The leader's not answering. Creedy's not answering. What do we do? And then finally,
they're fucking dead.
Yeah, they're dead. Finally, when they get to the barricade, they're like, just stand down, man. And you just see them hop over and they just walk right past them, right? And they're all, again, filling the streets. And they all just stand outside of the Parliament building and the building explodes. And they all get to sit there and watch it happen. And Finch asked Evie, he's like, who was he? And she goes, he was the guy.
He was you. He was me.
Yeah, he was my father, my mother. He was my brother. He was this. He was that. He was all of us. And you see the scene where you then look at the crowd and they're seeing this explosion happen. It's very fantastical, right? And they're all taking off their mask, and it's different people that have died. So you see Valerie, you see your girlfriend, you see Gordon, you see all these different people throughout the story that we've seen. And it's just again this idea. It's an idea because you never know what B looks like. You never see his face, right? You just see his hands. But again, it's this idea that we don't have to be secluded in this. It doesn't have to stay this way. It doesn't have to be stagnant. There is a way to be progressive. And I guess that it's such a message that I feel like is important right now, especially.
We can go forward.
It doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be bad. And I guess that's also why I guess it brings so much emotion on me is to see someone who are unified on our front, because there's no unity right now in the world. And that's very different from how the book ends. But
I love the way the comic does it, where V tells Evie as he's dying, you have to find out who's under the mask without ever seeing my face.
Yeah.
Or he says that you have to find out who's under the mask, but you can't see my face.
Mm-hmm.
So she's battling with, well, how do I find out who he is if I never remove his mask, never see his face? And it goes through like her taking his mask off and seeing a different face. And she's like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. She doesn't know how to fulfill it. And finally, she leaves the room and she looks at herself in the mirror and she smiles. And it's just the face, just a smile, and you're like, oh. Then she puts the wig and the mask on and everything. And the fact of the matter is, she knows who V is because it's her.
Yeah.
And she carries it on. She never had to know who he was. She never wanted to see his face because it would diminish how big the movement was, how big the idea was. And he never wanted to be less than that idea.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Yeah, I really like that she picked up the mask and everything. Yeah, that's a good scene in the movie.
Yeah,
too,
ideas are bulletproof.
Where he says ideas are bulletproof as he's like leaking blood.
Yeah, he's man. So just So after all this conversation, what is your score for the movie out of 10? I gotta understand.
See, when
Be honest.
it's
I'm not
hard
gonna.
not
I'm
to
not gonna get
think,
upset.
it's hard not to think of it in terms of an adaptation, because I mean it is.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a great adaptation
Right.
of the book, but also it would. How long would that fucking movie have to be
That's
to perfectly adapt the book?
yeah. I think that's the
Uh,
biggest downfall it has.
yeah, I just think there are a lot of parts that are kind of hollow, at which we need to do a more comprehensive version. We need to have like
Yeah.
a week where we write things down leading up to
Yeah.
it. But I don't know. I give the comic a fucking. I'm gonna give it to say 9.8 out of 10
Okay.
because there are a couple things where I'm, Alan Moore. So 9.8 for the book, and I'd say probably like 7 for the movie.
Yeah. See, I'm 9 on the comic and then 10 on the book. 10 on the movie. I think.
Yeah. See, like, I don't hate the movie. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. It's just in terms of an adaptation, I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah,
I
which is
think
fair.
like the major things that I have a complaint about are V's lack of like Shakespearean like dialogue. He's mostly kind of just talking normally in the movie, but like in the book, he's always saying something profound, like something that you can read into, something that you might not think anything of on first glance, but you sit with it for a second and you're like, dang. But also the leader,
Yeah.
I think that's probably my biggest complaint, is that there was like nothing about the leader or the more inner workings of the head and shit like that, which I would have loved to see the fake computers.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see that the interiority of the leader. And then I would have loved to see Natalie Portman put on the mask.
I mean, those are all very fair criticisms. Like, I think those are all reasonable to be upset about. And again, I think if I had
But
read
it's just
first,
it's so different because you watched the movie
that's-
first, so
that's
you
the
didn't
big thing.
have those expectations. I probably would have given it a fucking 9 or 10
yeah.
if I didn't have the book to compare to it first.
Which
So-
that's like I said, it's completely fair.
If you take anything out of this, watch the movie first, and then
Yeah.
you go read the book.
Because I think
So you like
yeah,
both.
Because I do love both a lot. Again, I think that
I feel like I definitely will rewatch it again, probably soon.
yeah.
But God, the book is just so profound.
It is so
Like
great.
yeah.
Again, I don't know what I like more, V or Watchmen. I really don't. Because there's certain
I think
aspects
it's
of the thing.
easily V.
Really? Well, I think
Easily.
the thing is
Yeah.
with Watchmen is I think I like the characters more. I like V probably more. I don't know if I like V or Dr. Manhattan more or Ozymandias. See, I fucking love Ozzy. I love Dr. Manhattan. I enjoy reading Rorschach so much. I enjoy the intricacies of the political network in Watchmen, but again, at the same time, I think the message of V is so much more important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like the only characters that you can really like in
Oh.
V are V for Vendetta or V and then Evie. I feel like there's not really any other characters to really attach to, whereas in Watchmen, there's like 6. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
I think in terms of comics, Watchmen's probably more important.
yeah, it's more
But
impactful.
in terms of like reality, V for Vendetta is more
Yeah,
important.
and that is a completely fair. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Which I was upset that my dog's name is Rorschach instead of fucking V now. So I felt after watching it, and I fucking my knuckles are tattooed for Watchmen. I'll definitely get me a fucking V tattoo. I got my coworker has the Guy Fawkes mask on his forearm, and then has the Scarlet Carson with his blade beside it. It's really badass. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's such a good fucking story. Like actually.
Did he throw you on?
So not really. No, I just watched the movie. He's told me like the entire time I've known that I need to read it and watch it. But I just one weekend was like, hey, I'm looking for a movie. I've never seen V. Let's start it. And I started, and I was like, dude. And then I went and bought it immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so fucking good. Like it's so good. I got my dad
Yeah.
to sit down and watch it a couple weekends back. And
My dad's actually never read it.
dude,
He's
Put him on.
He's seen, and he's a comic guy.
Yeah,
He's
promote.
seen it, but he's never read it, so I'm gonna make him read it.
Yeah, that's solid.
But
Yes, yeah.
all right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We're gonna do in a couple weeks. We'll do a more in-depth video, not just all over the place. This is just us getting our ideas out. But we'll be back with more V for Vendetta for sure.
Very excited about it, and we'll probably add an Alan Moore segment from the following podcast, I guess. Just because it's great. Definitely, I can't wait to talk to Tony about this. I really can't. I'm excited about that. Yeah, man. Thanks for watching. Darn Devil, you know what to do. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I guess it'll be next time. Yeah.